Butterflies start as tiny caterpillars, vulnerable, following their instincts just to survive. As children grow up, they naturally accept their parents' views as they seek to make sense of the world around them. This routine wanes for most adolescents as they mature, much like caterpillars' transformation into butterflies. Once kids grow more independent, they become their own people, unquestionably themselves, spreading their wings, free, unique, and strong. For me, my whole perspective of the world and my place in it altered forever when I was just 10. As a fourth grade vegetarian, I didn't realize how few choices I made for myself. An elementary schooler, I was oblivious to reality, content to follow my parents and my fellow peers like a newly hatched caterpillar, negotiating the dangers of a vast world of predatory birds, just doing what I'm told to survive. This mindset remained until suddenly the walls of my chrysalis rumbled with my mom's new health kick. Okay, girls, we're going vegan. Ugh, cue the groans. I didn't want change. I didn't want to give up cheese and the way I had lived for my whole life. I was happy in my undisturbed chrysalis, naive, the darkness of ignorance keeping me safe. Yet I followed anyway and did what my parents told me, because that was what I had always done. My chrysalis quaked at the end of fourth grade when my family took a trip to a farm sanctuary where I met a pig named Fern. I stared into her guileless eyes. I felt her curious wet nose. I felt my heart melt. Holding her in my arms, I made a connection. I was frozen in time, looking into a new reality that solidified my sightline and touched my heart. I realized I had a choice, and for once, it was my own choice to make. I could continue to hide behind the sturdy walls of my safe enclosure, or I could make a difference. Finally, I wanted to be vegan, not just follow my parents. I wanted to help people realize that they had the ability to make the same choice I was making, a choice filled with kindness and compassion. Fourth grade me became jittery with energy and purpose, eager to show my classmates, to open their eyes to a vegan way of thinking. I had found a way to make a difference. So that's what I set out to do. In school, I gave presentations about veganism, and I told my peers about Fern. I wrote essays about my beliefs. I felt like I had found my calling. But I was wrong. The people around me, still puppets on the strings of their parents' ideas, still caterpillars freshly hatched, hadn't reached the same conclusion I had when I told them about veganism. I was offering a new set of values, and they were determined to hold on to more alluring and comforting ways. They were unwilling to break free. My classmates were quick to suck the excitement and purpose from my young heart like leeches. They didn't care about what I had to say, let alone my feelings. So they resorted to bullying. In fourth grade, kids rubbed popcorn on meat and tricked me into eating it. See, you aren't really vegan. In fifth grade, after school, kids followed me to my car, jeering, "I'm vegan," in the back of my head. Kids would say, "You're wrong, stop lying to everyone," when I presented veganism to the class. Even in sophomore year of high school, the seniors, who were supposed to be role models, accused, "You're trying to steal her 4-H cow," and criticized, "You can't really survive eating just that." I heard whispers and comments delivered under their breaths as I passed through the hallways. I was ignored and rejected. People I thought were friends turned against me. As the harassment persisted, I began to have panic attacks, and I sobbed daily. Inside, I was screaming with no one to hear me. My chrysalis was battered, pelted by the hail and winds of bullies, but the walls held. Each year, it rebuilt itself, becoming more fortified, turning into an inescapable prison as the words from those around me echoed in my thoughts. "You're wrong. Who cares? You're the problem." I was suffocating in the darkness, the walls closing around me as I tried to suck in every breath and shield myself from their words. But I couldn't cover my ears when the words were coming from myself. Hoping to protect myself, I set rules. I was no longer the extrovert who talked to anyone she met. Instead, I talked to no one. I became afraid of meeting others. I held the same beliefs, but fear of rejection for it made me sink into myself to hide. I built the walls of my chrysalis thicker to shield myself. But after each incident, I once again became afraid to speak up for my beliefs, to defend myself from the bullets of their words that lodged in my chest. Yet every time, I metamorphosed. I got stronger. Their bullets began to ricochet, leaving only dents in my chest, instead of the gaping wounds they had before. Now, as a junior in high school, I realize that despite the pain I have faced, I have overcome so much more. I stand amongst the fallen shell of my chrysalis, a new person. But I'm still afraid, though I try not to be. I once again make efforts to talk about veganism. As brief as each mention is, knowing where I used to be, I'm proud of how far I've come. Even so, each time I try to speak about my beliefs, my heart pounds a little harder, my blood moves through my veins a little faster, my hands shake a little more. But without all of my eye-opening experiences, I wouldn't have broken through my suffocating silk prison, and I wouldn't have discovered my inner strength. I have become a more determined person. I understand so much more about who I am. I have realized that even if sometimes we must thicken the walls of our chrysalis, we eventually emerge stronger, as new people. We become the way we are inside, butterflies.